Hi everybody and welcome to the new podcast Machine Learning Serbia. Today we have a special guest with us, Nikola Zivkovic, and also Basage here as always.
Hello guys.
And I'm Anja. So first of all, we will have a different type of the podcast with Nikola. This is the second video and audio podcast. And we are really delighted to have Nikola here as our guest.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah. So let's go with questions. So the first question for you is what you actually do. So if you can explain what you do.
Yeah, well, if I have to explain, I would like to think of myself as a problem solver. So I like to engage both like technical skills and soft skills. So I'm officially a team lead at Lega IT Sourcing, and as well I'm leading the Rubik's Code of my company, which is dealing with data science and software development outsourcing. So it's a kind of splitted position, right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of technical stuff that you need to cover, but you have to people skills. You have to have those as well.
Yeah, you have to understand the business problems.
Yeah, some business, of course.
Because machine learning and data science is a tool for the problems.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Just like pretty much everything else, you know. So that's why I like to think of myself as a problem solver, and that's how I try to explain to my family and friends when they ask me what do you do, for heaven's sake.
Yeah. Because they probably think that you are a crazy Einstein.
Yeah. Like sitting in a dark room and writing some code.
Yeah.
So if somebody on the street asks you the same question, how would you simply explain what you do? Like someone who is not technical at all.
Someone who's not well, let's say I try to understand what's the business problem, and then I try to apply a proper solution, whether that be data science or software development. So sometimes you have people like asking you a lot of questions about machine learning and AI because it's a hype right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they expect kind of magical things or some problems that machine learning is probably not applicable to. So I try to come from the perspective of what's the most important thing to solve, and apply the proper tool and get client satisfied, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's interesting because I know about your background, and for you guys who are watching, so Nikola is from Shabac, I'm also from Shabac, it's my hometown, and also one of our partners in the company is also from Shabac, so it's really interesting story.
Machine learning the lobby. So,
yeah.
The role started from Shabac.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you to tell us more about your background.
I studied computer science. I have a master's degree in computer science from technical science from Novi Sad. So my love for software in general, or for computers, right? So that came when I was pretty young. My father didn't like me for waste too much time, so
mine too.
Yeah. So he was like, I have a friend, he's have a computer repair shop, so he was like, okay, go there, and during the holidays and work there. So I got interested in computers and in everything software basically. So later on I started got into the course of or the program for computer science and finished that. And the really cool thing about the University of Novi Sad is that it's pretty integrated with the business, meaning with the industry.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to pretty early in my career solve like really cool problems and get more experience than maybe a regular chap who is going to the university. So that was really nice. And that's pretty much my background. So probably 10 years in the industry right now or something.
Wow, cool.
Really good. I remember when I was having a data science workshop in Novi Sad, it was full. And so back then I realized that Novi Sad, if we talk about machine learning and data science, they are more advanced than Belgrade. And even that you mentioned that faculty is working with the industry, and you can when you're a student, you can have a hands-on for the real problems in the industry. That's really important, because if you are having only a theory and not practice, that's not applicable. Because like industry, they don't actually care about that, what kind you finish faculty, they care about it, but you need to know something.
Of course,
so,
I mean the practical experience is everything, you know. So that's why I'm coming from a point of view that actually even when you finish university or something like that, you're still not a junior programmer or data scientist, right? So you still need some time to actually realize what the hell is going on around you, right? And wrap your head around it.
Faculties are some kind of a ticket.
Exactly.
And then you have to develop all the skills and to become a junior.
Right.
That's the first step, and then to develop further. So
for me, for example, that formal background, I know that there is a lot of story today about non-formal education and stuff like that, and I agree with all of that. But for me, formal education was really good because, you know, I developed some kind of habits, and I basically realized how I can learn stuff, unlearn them, and relearn. Right. So
we learned some key values there, and how to attack the big problems. And learn habits, which is important. And later on in life, you will face all of that, but we are all impatient. Like we start and we want instantly to have those kind of challenges. So tell us more like about motivation. How you get into this field? How you get into software development, and then how did you let's say move to data science and machine learning?
Yeah, well, you know, basically that was it. I was interested in software development when I was younger, and then, you know, I was naturally more inclined to math and that kind of subjects in school, so it was kind of natural for me to go and, you know, pursue some kind of career like that. And data science, well, that happened really funny actually. A couple of years ago there was that video where some guys combined like Space Odyssey with Picasso style, and they used like some kind of transfer style learning to do that, and I was blown away by that. And actually I can remember, you know, that fear of missing out that I felt in that moment.
Something is happening.
Exactly. You know, so I was there, you know, learning another JavaScript framework or something. You know, that's cool and creative as well, but you know, it's not like Kubrick's movie with Picasso style. You know, I was like, that I want to do that. So I did it, right? So I started getting interested in that, and it was a lot harder than I thought it would be, but you know, eventually it came something out of it, right?
If it is easy, everyone would be. Nice job.
Yeah, and you need to love it, so, and to be passionate about it. Otherwise, it's really tough to do any kind of the job if you hate it.
Of course. I mean, you have to have that like interest in data, I guess. I don't know how to explain, but for example, when I was a kid, like I would write down all the players like from NBA and what kind of stats did they have, or cars, you know. So when I was interested in sporting cars. So you know, I think there is like again some kind of natural inclination to it, and that doesn't mean that not everyone can do it, but you know, there is definitely people who can do it better because they feel it, I guess, more in their core than
and they think it in that kind of way. It's some probably combination of some business skills which you were born with them, and then probably that statistics and analytical skills that you have through the environment that you are there, and so probably like curiosity, so just to see more about that from that stickers and everything.
It's like if you're in it just for the hype, you'll drop out in 3 months. And that's the main takeaway. So like, you do not have to go into data science and machine learning just because of the hype. It's because you love the topic and you have huge interest for the long run. Because this will be a long run for all of you who are listening and who want to join. It's not just
it's a marathon.
A sprint.
Exactly.
So you mentioned that you were a software developer. Now you got into the machine learning, and there is a lot of information that software developers don't like to go into machine learning and vice versa, and sometimes that software developers couldn't be good machine learning engineers. So it's interesting that you actually wrote down the book how you did it, so a roadmap for that.
An icebreaker.
Yeah. So all that obstacles that you have. So can you tell us more about your ebook?
So my book is coming up, or it's already online. You can find it at rubikscode.net, and basically
it's already online.
Yeah, that's it.
It's already online.
It's already online.
Yeah.
Right.
You should buy it.
Actually, I still think of myself as a software developer as well. I as I mentioned, I don't like to have like sort of that kind of distinction.
Yeah.
So I like to attack the problem and then see what comes best of it. But I wrote a book which is called Deep Learning for Programmers, and what I try to tackle there is basically when I saw that video and I was like, I want to do that. I was thinking I will do that rather quickly, right? And I will get into the field like really fast because I was already a software developer, right? I can,
It cannot be harder than
that.
Right. It's just another framework.
Right. It's just another way to do CRUD operations, right? So anyhow, I started learning, and I realized that my programming skills really came in handy, but they were not enough, right? So I had to like dust off the books from the university with math and everything, and I have to remember some stuff that I've done probably a long time ago, but if you don't use it, you get rusty at it. So it took me a lot of time actually to wrap my mind around it, even though I had like that technical background. So I took some notes, and during that process, and they came together quite nicely. Some of those became blog posts, other became lectures, and in whole that it became a book. Alright. Yeah. So it was like a slow development of basically me getting into the field and getting to that point where I can like single-handedly attack some kind of problem and actually solve it with machine learning or with deep learning, right? So since we are talking about deep learning, right? So that kind of became my thing, to actually attack problems from both ends and actually being able to do so, right? And that's why I think that actually software developers can be good data scientists, because there are a lot of skills that you can actually transfer from one field to another. For example, as a data scientist, you have to talk a lot with the client and realize what the business problem is. But if you're a good software developer, you're probably doing that as well as a part of your job, or you're probably using some kind of database which is having some data in it, and you already have some kind of feeling about it, and you can utilize definitely that knowledge in data science field. And in the book I try to explain how, right? So I try to use some of the programming principles like object-oriented programming or functional programming to actually explain some of the principles in the machine learning and in the deep learning and how stuff function, and based on that to basically build your data science and deep learning skills.
So you can say that if you are guys a software developer and you want to get into deep learning or machine learning, you should buy his book, because he will show you how is that, because he knows that he is a software developer, he is still a software developer.
So if you're thinking about transferring into this field, definitely, and we'll be glad to first read the book. We're looking forward, and also the link will be on our group, so stay tuned. Tell us more about your daily role. So we hear a lot from you. So one company, second company, what is your daily role? What do you do, and how does it look like? Especially now when you're on both sides. So it will be interesting.
It's kind of split in half, right? So the half of my job is actually doing technical stuff and paving the way for the team, for example, like taking the tasks that can ease up the work for the rest of the team, and prepare some stuff and prepare basically the foundation for it. Or I take on really boring tasks that no one wants to do because I don't want to lose like motivation of the team or stuff like that. And the second part is actually keeping people motivated and keep taking care of the projects, of the organizational stuff, and stuff like that. So it's when I say split it in half, I'm meaning that half of it is technical and technical using technical skills, while the other half is using like soft skills, business skills, or
as it has to be as a team lead, and also for machine learning and data science. We spoke about that lots of times. So you have to be like the wide spectrum of skills, and technical, business side, soft skills as a nice group to be good at.
And I always think about like a job as a part of a gig, right? So you're trying to be a better person, and I think that if you're trying to be a better human being in general, you have to use everything that you can and everything that you have, and in time you'll get better and help other people out as well. Right, so that's the idea, I guess.
But it is hard. It will be hard, so don't drop out really. You have to keep up with the goals.
So you already mentioned a lot of that. So about your background. So maybe you have something to add on to how your background helped you to be successful doing everything that you are doing today.
Yeah. Well, successful. I don't think of myself as a success. I think that's a stretch. I think I try to think about myself always as a work in progress, right?
Okay.
So like pushing forward and trying to be better every day. But yeah, as I mentioned, formal education really helped me into like building habits and realizing how I can build habits, and that turned out like to be the most important thing that I got from university and from the industry later on.
So he's actually AI building human AI, building habits.
Right?
Don't be scared.
So yeah, it really helped me, with that. It also helped me, of course, with the technical understanding and stuff, but you can get there. That I guess anywhere. While this is like sort of framing you into a certain position that you have to do. I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah. You don't have to.
Right. But you want to.
It's a choice.
Yeah. So. But I guess for me personally, I think it would be harder for me, like on my own, to get there.
Yeah.
But that formal education helped me a lot. And later on, it's important to find like some kind of mentor. And as soon as you find that person, you try to keep learn everything from her or him. And eventually you will become the mentor. Then you will like share the knowledge, and through that process as well you will also learn right, because you cannot like go out and try to learn something and realize maybe I don't understand this completely, so you go back and then you realize you maybe didn't connect some dots, or you realize how to connect them like an easier way. And
that's it. I mean, at the beginning there will be lots of great things in your mind, but as the time passes, you will understand more and more and connect the dots.
Right.
That's like with all new skills and things that you try in life generally, not just the machine learning or AI. So.
And then when you go and teach someone, that's like next level, and you again using both technical skills and soft skills, and it's and plus it's a great feeling, right, to help someone out.
To transfer the knowledge.
Yeah, right. So,
special thing. So before we continue to the next one, so he is a successful guy, but humble. So nice mix.
Yeah.
So a little technical question. So what tools do you use on a daily basis? So just quick overview for software development things, and also in the machine learning and deep learning.
All right. Well, for machine learning and for deep learning, actually, I use, of course, the favorite combo of Python and TensorFlow. That's like the most the easiest way. It was something that I started with, and I'm still using those tools. While I'm still doing like a great deal of web development, and for that I usually use some kind of .NET technologies, probably .NET Core. Also sometimes I usually use machine learning ML.NET, which is really cool. Actually, if you are already a .NET developer, you can use that as well. And I also use JavaScript, right? And for databases, I'm using, of course, SQLs and relational databases, as well as NoSQL databases like Mongo and Cassandra, right? So I even have a course on MongoDB. And for productivity, I use Pomodoro cycles. I like to use the Pomodoro technique basically, and do my work in that kind of way. That turned out the best thing for me. And I also find like my daily habits really important, and I think they are not maybe an app. they are definitely like important for me, like getting up early and morning exercise, and taking cold showers like we talk, right? And meditation in the evening, and writing down progress in my diary or something in my journal. And I use that extensively. And for the app side, well, for the notes, I take a lot of notes, like when I'm talking with someone or when I'm working on a project. So for that I use Evernote. It's, I guess, one of the solutions you can take on, right?
And maybe you can try Hugo. I found out Hugo, and it's really good. It's like you can make notes after every meeting, because when you have a lot of meetings, you forgot some things. And then I'm using that to write down. But also we are thinking probably maybe to make something that you can transcribe. Meeting, that would be the best one. But
just a small digression. It's not a paid commercial for those programs, just to mention.
This show was sponsored by.
So we can say that the most important project that you're working on is actually you.
Yeah.
As a person. And we all are. So cool.
I would like to try to look at it that way. So then the other stuff are just tools, right?
Yeah.
So you invest as much as you need to, right? So you don't become some kind of guy who will speak about those products in a podcast.
We are not that guy. Because you have a girl here, so you're not that guy. So when you're mentioning that you were investing a lot of effort in you as yourself, in professional and personal level, so can you tell us what are the most obstacles or challenges that you had in your professional career?
Well, let's try to avoid all the NDAs, right? So for me, the biggest part of every project and the most important challenge is understanding what the customer need, not like what they say they want. You have to dig a little bit deeper and find the why, and find why they need a certain product, what kind of problem they are actually trying to solve. Because if you make a wrong move there and misunderstand that, you will waste your team's time, your time, your customers, time and money, and of course, and that's like the crucial part of the project for me, and that's the most challenging thing for me, especially because I myself am a pretty introvert person, even though I'm speaking at the podcast and there's a camera recording me, but that doesn't come sort of natural to me. So that's always some kind of special preparation for that kind of stuff, and getting my mindset into that, and that's the most challenging part. And minutes of meetings are definitely the most important thing in that process, because that is how you confirm that you understood it well, and you can then take the leadership role and
asking the right questions.
Right. Technically asking the right questions. That's that's what it comes down to. Right?
So apart from NDAs, can you tell us more about some of your, how did you solve real cases with machine learning and AI in a daily role? Some implementations, some projects that you can speak about.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, our listeners will love to hear some solutions from the real life and to see where we apply those techniques.
So we at Rubik's Code, we are taking on. We try to specify ourselves as a health tech company among other things. So we like to take on that kind of challenges. And lately we've been using. We use transfer learning really well in some kind of situations, especially for image recognition, and it turned out that's an easy way, well, not an easy way, right, but it turned out to be a faster way to solve problems, because you already have some kind of pre-trained models, and you're able to utilize them and play around, so you don't have to invent resonate from scratch, right? So which is really cool, and I don't like to think about us as a research company, so because I think that's part of the big universities and stuff like that, and it's really cool that we are now in a point in history where actually we can apply those things that a lot of people have been writing about, find out, and we can utilize them really quickly in our projects.
Yeah, you can help doctors to do their jobs better,
right.
And you're just doing technology. You are not there in their field, but you're helping them. So that's really, so you are doing something wonderful. So you're making a business, and on the other side you're giving a value back to the community and to the mankind, because you're helping from the technology aspect.
Right.
Yeah.
So and in the same time you're applying someone else's actual knowledge, and if you are able to understand it, and you're like that link between those two worlds, right? And then that's also a cool feeling. So look it up into transfer learning. That can help you get your projects off the ground much faster than it was, let's say, 2 years ago, right? So
it's going really fast, and we should look like what will happen when TensorFlow will be so even better in years to come, because a lot of machine learning engineers, they for having a chit chat as a joke, they say Tensor slow. They even have t-shirts with that. So you have a lot of people.
It is in progress. It is in progress. It needs to be better.
So it cannot be perfect. It needs time to be better. But it's really important to have a progress. So when we talk about deep learning and machine learning, so what is your opinion? How is that field going in the future? What will happen? So we cannot say in the future 5 or 10 years. Maybe what do you think will happen in the time frame of 1 year?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And also in Serbia.
No, if you don't want, you don't need to mention Serbia.
Well, these technologies are crossing the chasm, right? So more and more people are finding pragmatic ways to use them and to solve real world problems, and that's, I think, the most important part of any technology, right? So I think we are already in a stage of early majority, right? Yeah, not early adopters. We've crossed the chasm, right? So I think we're in the early majority. It will definitely become a part of our daily job, and probably other people's daily job to actually know something about it, or at least to know how to use it. So I think that's really important, and I think that's a huge impact on us as a field, as people who are trying to get them out, those algorithms, get them out in the world, in the real world, right? So I think that will kind of reveal what machine learning is and what deep learning and AI are technically really are, right? Because there is a lot of misunderstanding in whole world.
A lot of people think that we are in a Harry Potter movie. We have a magic wand, and then you can go and you can poof.
Right.
It's solved.
And while other people think that we are building a Terminator, right? So
yeah.
So it's either like you can solve any problem like with some kind of silver bullet, or you're building a machine to kill us. Well, we are sitting there and trying to train our convolutional neural network to do something
still
meaningful.
believe that it's a hope. Some of them.
Yeah.
Like, but what machine learning, deep learning? It will just pass. That's everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it won't definitely be like this kind of hype. I guess that sales people will have to, pick something else.
Yeah.
Like it was microservices, now it's
Yeah.
serverless then.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know if you actually know that, but the name of machine learning for machine learning engineers, the guy who invented is a guy from IBM. So it's maybe in 80s. So they invented that name in terms that it's hot.
Right.
It's when you say machine learning engineer, then software engineer, it's nicer. So and they invented and they did it like it helped them a lot. So nowadays IBM is really doing good in terms of machine learning. So when I was digging about that to see the history of machine learning and deep learning and AI, so I found that information. For me it was really interesting because they said, like machine learning machines are not learning. So it's just taking mathematics behind it, and the name is machine learning because it's nice to say that. Yeah.
So it will sell better, right? So I definitely think that people will understand what we really do and what we are trying to achieve, like how to use data to solve certain problems, and I think that will actually help us a lot. And I think that will with that like demystification of the field, it will open up more jobs actually for us. While on the technical side, I think the transfer learning and like auto ML they will definitely like pick up. And while we will still code and write code, it will be, I guess, different kind of code, right?
Yeah.
So it will look a little bit different, and I think we will have to learn to deal with data better. I feel that SQL is still like a predominant thing when we talk about data, and it's been around for forever, right? So I think that there we will have like a big impact. I'm not really sure what kind of impact, but something will happen there. And then quantum computing and quantum machine learning and stuff like that.
On Web Summit they were talking all the time about it. And they said, a lot of them from Google, Huawei, Amazon and so on, they said that automation will become reality, and the parts of it will be that we need to think more about statistics, more about analytics, because you need to put the ingredients in it, and which type of the models you need to use for the particular problem, because every problem is different. So that is something that cannot be automated with algorithms, but all of the stuff that can be. They have an example of it. If you want to make a cake, and then you need powder, sugar, and jelly. And if you got on you're blind, and then you put maybe something from here, like this glass and coffee, and in it you got something that looks like cake, but it's shit.
Right.
So that kind of part cannot be automated, because a lot of people who don't understand what's actually data science and what's actually machine learning, they think that you can do that and you will just sit and drink some cocktail and it will make you everything. But that's not reality.
That's not the case, definitely.
But it is really important that you mentioned about changing the way we store the data and stuff. We are still stuck with SQL. I mean, it's good, but we are still there. And with the progressing of computing power and quantum computing and all that stuff, we'll definitely need some new solutions. And I think that in that moment we will have possibility and potential to develop more with the solutions, with the algorithms and with everything else. So as with everything, there will be a huge step then, and then again we'll go forward. So you already show us that software developer can become a machine learning engineer.
Well, I wrote the book on it, so I have to say that.
So,
That's true, sir. The book is giving you a truth. It's a proof.
Now
it's a physical.
Give us a short sneak peek about what is the difference between a software developer and machine learning engineer. just don't go it too deep because we want our listeners to buy a book. So
Yeah.
No, well, the difference is basically that you deal with data and you kind of learning how to observe data, right? So you don't do that much as a software developer, right? You're thinking more about the architecture of the system, or like, octagonal architecture or microservices or something like that. You're thinking in the terms of in different terms, right? So it's similar, or it's like there but not there, right? So you're thinking more about the data. You're focused on how you can use what you have, like you have some kind of zeros and ones, and you're thinking about how to use that to solve certain problem. So it's a different mindset eventually, but it has a lot of like connecting points, right? So I think that's the main difference, basically.
Cool.
Yeah. So a really important part is how can our listeners contact you, where to find you, where to buy your book.
Well, you can always visit rubikscode.net. There's we have a huge blog. It actually started off as my blog, and then we got into company mode, I guess. And you can find me there, or you can find me via Twitter. It's Zivkovic, right? So you can follow me there, or I'm always available on LinkedIn. So I try to answer all the messages, and you can contact me like that.
Yeah, you will be on the description of the post in our group. So
that will
on the video, on the audio, on the SoundCloud, and so on. So we will leave. So you can contact Nikola, and you can also click on the link and buy the book.
So our last question for today, it's not technical at all.
Right.
So can you give us some, what is your favorite book, or some tip that helps you go through life, or which can be good for our listeners?
Okay, so I'm gonna go totally off topic, right? So because I'm a big fan of Stoic philosophy, and I try to get better, right, in the different areas of the life. I suggest Meditation from Marcus Aurelius. That's my favorite book, and I read it probably every day, a little part every day, and it inspires me to be better professional and a better person in general. So it helps me with multiple areas. It helped me thus far in the multiple areas of my life. So that's the one book. If I have to go to one book, then that it will always be that one.
It's totally out topic.
Right.
Yeah. And probably the new book that is coming up, that will be the So once again, deep learning for developers.
So one more question, totally off the topic. So what is the most funny thing you did in your life? The most craziest thing you did in your life?
Craziest thing?
Which thing would you pick?
I've done a lot of crazy stuff, man.
Good one.
So the stuff that you can tell the audience.
Well, the crazy stuff. Oh God, I don't know. I feel a little bit embarrassed right now. I don't know. I was not ready for this question. I must say that. Well, I have two younger brothers, and we always did a lot of shenanigans. And we made fun of each other all the time. And my middle brother, he's 5 years younger than me. I'm the oldest one, which is really not that good for that, right? So when I was a kid, I actually told him that he was a robot, and that he can run around the building in a second or something like that. And that he was running around the building, and I was like, oh my God, you run around the building for 1 second. And he was, for a couple of days, he thought that he was a robot, right? So yeah, that's
so that is the route where he started thinking about
right.
Cool.
I pulled that nicely together, right?
Thank you for the question, and also thank you for being our guest.
Yeah,
I hope it was a good experience for you, and I know that our listeners would appreciate a lot your presence here. So once again, there will be links in our posts about everything we spoke here. There will be also a blog. So this is our second live video podcast. That was it from our side, and stay tuned and see you in the next one.
Yeah. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.